Hi everyone, it's Gina, and I'm back. It's the day after Thanksgiving. So, how many of you are out or have been out for the Black Friday shopping? It's Friday, which means that today is what I like to call Oily Friday. It's the second Friday, which I'll be discussing some essential oils and a couple of essential oil blends that I'm going to teach you about. And the ones that we're going to talk about today are related to allergies and could be seasonal allergies. It could be issues related to whether you have a cough or a cold, that sort of thing. So I wanted to talk about one thing before I jump into that. This past week, I went in for a mammogram. I don't know if you've ever had a mammogram done, but for some reason, I reacted horribly to the effects from the radiation from the machine. And I usually react to it anyway, but this particular one, when I was reading the paperwork, it said that they were doing what's called a 3D mammography, digital mammography. And that this particular kind actually gives out 3 times as much, I believe it's what it said, 3 times as much radiation as a regular mammogram. But this is the only kind that was available at this particular place, right? So I thought, okay, I should be able to deal with it. I mean, I've dealt with the other ones. How bad could it be? Well, by the time I got home, I was itching all over. By the end of that evening, my forehead was covered in these tiny little bumps, and I still have a few of them. And most of the itchiness is now gone away. And I'm going to talk to you about what helped. If you were here last Friday, I showed you how to make a blend called Show Your Skin Some Love. And I showed you how you could use that essential oil blend and add it to your lotion and then use that all over your body. Well, I was in the middle of actually making an essential oil blend for, the effects of radiation or radiation therapy. And I said, well, let me go ahead and just use the one that I made last week because I had made a lotion. Remember, I said we could add some of it to the lotion. We did. So I grabbed this first and I just massaged it over my entire body. And within 2 to 3 hours, I would say maybe 80% of the itchy feeling had gone away. So if you're a woman and you're going in for a mammogram, an ultrasound, MRI, whatever the case is, or and guys, if you do CT scans and MRIs and what are the other ones? Ultrasounds. So if any of you are going in for any of those type of treatments, if you haven't made this blend, the one from last week, please go ahead and make it and keep it available. I don't know if you react to, this kind of stuff like I do. I know other people that do react, have the after effects of, just like creepy, crawly, itchiness all over. So if you have those kind of effects after having something like that done, I would highly recommend making that blend. I ended up not even making the other blend that I was thinking of. I still have the recipe written down, and I think I'll make it at a later date. But the one we made last week called the Show Yourself Some Love. All right, I'm going to get this right. Show Your Skin Some Love Essential Oil Blend. Add some of it to a lotion and keep that handy. Use it every day. And if you ever have any kind, a mammogram, CT scan, MRI, whatever the case, react, this is a good blend to just use all over your body. If you have to, just come home, take a shower. That also helps. And then just massage yourself with the lotion, with the blend inside of it. Huge difference between Wednesday and today. Big difference for me. So I just wanted to share that with you. All right, so the one that we're going to do today, what we're going to talk about today are a few essential oil blends related to allergies. And it could be, like I said, allergies from, pollen, from mold, just seasonal allergies, or maybe you're having a cough or cold and, you're stuffy, that sort of thing. So let me grab my notes. I made three different blends that I'm going to share with you. This is one that I'm going to talk about the different ingredients. This one is called LLP, and it's just lemon, lavender, and peppermint. That's why I call it LLP blend, and this is an allergy blend. Just 3 essential oils, equal parts. Just if you're, and by parts I mean if you're using a tablespoon, it would be a tablespoon of lemon, a tablespoon of lavender, and a tablespoon of peppermint. The essential oils, and this is pure essential oil. There's no carrier oil added in here, because I'm going to show you different ways that you can use this. Okay, so no carrier oil for that. Another blend I want to share with you is this one, and this has peppermint, lavender, frankincense, and eucalyptus. And I keep this also has I think there's a little bit of carrier oil, not much. But what I do with this is I put a few drops onto a bath rag, and I put it just in the tub whenever my youngest son is showering, because he has, there are days when he wakes up and he might be kind of stuffy. So I just put a few drops of this onto a bath rag, and as he's showering, the water hits the bath rag, and it just helps the essential oils to dissipate and diffuse. And that way he can inhale it, and it helps to clear his head. So this is a really easy one to make as well. Peppermint, lavender, frankincense, and eucalyptus. Then I'm also going to talk to you about how to make an inhaler. And there are a few parts to this. There are 4 parts. That is the little sponge that goes on the inside. This is the cap that just closes there, and then this is the cover. This is the part that you inhale through. So I'm going to show you, once we're finished with the blends or going over all to make an inhaler that you can just carry around with you. And these are easy to find. You can buy them from Amazon, and you get, I think, like 20 for couple of dollars. So it's very, 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 very handy to have. If you don't have the those inhalers, and you have maybe a little container like this, or even if you get prescription medication and you have an empty pill bottle, you can also use that. Just get some tissue or a cotton ball, and then just putting the essential oil drops on top of that and closing it, and then you have a simple portable inhaler. Let me open this. I sealed it really quickly. I just made this, and I think it's, oh wow. All right, I'm just gonna have to get another one. Okay, there we go. Doesn't want to open. All right. Anyway, inside of this, I'm going to talk about what the essential oils are that I have on the inside. And this is just a piece of tissue that I dropped some oils on. Oh, here we go. And I sealed it. And all I have to do is just open it. Smells so good. And I tell you what essential oils are in that blend as well. Let me grab that page and I'll tell you what's in here. This has 5 drops of lemon, and this is going to be available. And what I'll do is I'll also post the ingredients in the comments below the video, so that you'll have access to that. So this has 5 drops of lemon, 4 drops of rosemary, 4 drops of eucalyptus, 7 drops of an oil called Ravensara, drops of peppermint, and 2 of lavender. Okay, and that's also very portable. The other way that you can use essential oils are with with a diffuser. And I'm going to reach across real quickly and grab this diffuser from here. I was supposed to do it before I sat down and I completely forgot. So let me unplug right here real quick. All right, so this is a diffuser for a room. And you open this up, and then inside is a section where you add water, and then you can drop a few essential oils. You seal it, and then there's a button here where you press to start. Now this isn't plugged in. All right, so this is another way that you could work with these essential oils. You can create an inhaler. There are several ways. You can use it in the bathtub, just putting a few drops onto a bath rag. You can also put it into a room diffuser. So let me set that up. All right, so let's talk about the essential oils that are really good for allergies. I mentioned 3 of them in this blend. These are lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Lemon, you've heard me talk about before. It's really good for detox. But lemon, when I'm driving, especially if I'm long distances, I like to get a cotton ball, put a couple drops of lemon, and push it into the AC vent. And as it blows, it actually energizes me. It's really good for uplifting you and keeping you focused. But as an allergy essential oil, it helps to reduce the congestion that you may have in your sinuses. The only caveat I would say here is just be careful using it on your skin, because if you're using a tanning bed or you're out in the sun a lot, it could create photosensitivity. So you have to be very careful whenever you're working with lemon essential oil. I have it in. I'll put a few drops of this into the inhaler. It doesn't bother me that way, but if you're rubbing it on your skin and then you go and lie on a tanning bed, you could end up with sunspots and burns in the area where you have the lemon essential oil. And whenever you're putting essential oils on your skin, always use a carrier oil, or mix it in with some lotion, but use something to thin out the essential oil to reduce it. Okay, never put, there are some essential oils that are safe to put on your skin neat, meaning without a carrier oil, but I always say, always be cautious and add some carrier oil to whatever essential oils you're putting on your skin. Always be careful that way. All right, so lemon mentioned was also good for fatigue. So if you're going on a long drive, then you could just diffuse some in your car by just putting a cotton ball with some essential oil drops on it, with lemon essential oil on it, and as it blows, it will help to kind of uplift you. The second one is lavender, and lavender is tricky because there are people who are allergic to lavender. So if you're one of those people, then you have to just leave this out and use an alternative for your blend. But lavender itself is a natural antihistamine. So, I have a friend who, whenever I'm making stuff for her, I can't put lavender in because she is so allergic to lavender. So if you're one of those people, just leave the lavender out completely. And I'm going to give you alternatives, alternative essential oils that you can work with whenever you're making an allergy blend, because there are quite a few. All right, but lavender, natural antihistamine, is antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. And if you have anxiety, the lavender is a good one to work with as well for that. It's also great if you have any kind of skin allergies, like if you have a rash, you just take some lavender essential oil, you can massage onto it and it helps with the rash. But again, lavender is one of those essential oils that's safe to use without a carrier oil. But I always err on the side of caution, because you never know, you could be that one person who's allergic to, who ends up getting burnt by lavender essential oil. So I always recommend that you mix the essential oils, any essential oils, with a carrier oil before applying them to your skin. Yes, or you can add it to some lotion, as I mentioned earlier. Lavender is also very calming, so it could be one of those oils that you put into your blend, and you can use it at nighttime to kind of help you to relax. So peppermint is the third one in that blend that I mentioned. And you're probably familiar with the menthol, that candy cane. That's probably the easiest one. Peppermint is very popular this time of the year because of that, the menthol and the peppermint candy canes. But peppermint is extremely anti-inflammatory. And if you have migraines, if you have any kind of headaches, easy remedy is taking a couple drops of peppermint essential oil mixed with a carrier oil like some coconut oil or jojoba oil or coconut oil, just something to, or even in some lotion, and just taking it and massaging it to the back of your neck, and it will help to get rid of your headache. It's something that I've used a lot. I used to have ice pick headaches, and I used to have migraines, and peppermint oil is the one thing I use to help to get rid of headaches. So it is actually really great for headaches, but it is also really great for opening up your sinuses because of that menthol effect from it. Okay. Now with peppermint, because peppermint is so strong, you definitely don't want to work with that neat. And neat means without a carrier oil. So with peppermint, you want to make sure you have a carrier oil, and if you're putting it on your skin, anywhere on your skin, you want to mix it with something, either with lotion or with one of those oils that I mentioned. Okay. You can also diffuse it if you have a diffuser, you can put in some water, put a couple drops, and you can diffuse it that way. But for headaches, I find that it works really well just putting it on the back of your neck, mixed with some carrier oil or lotion. If you have any questions, I'll just simply pop them into the chat. And again, I'm not a medical doctor here, so if you have any conditions that you think may be affecting essential oils, please always make sure to talk to your doctor first. But you add in any kind of therapy or, because can be interactions with pharmaceuticals you're using. Where do you get your oils? Okay, so I get mine from Mrs. Mango in Rockledge, Florida. I also order some from Mountain Rose Herbs, and I mentioned that particular company before. And you can also there are several reputable companies, like Plant Therapy is also one. Eden's Garden is another one. So there are quite a few companies out there that you can get your essential oils from. Okay, just the one thing I would recommend, there are a lot of people out there who recommend taking essential oils internally. I do not suggest it, because you have a biome in your mouth, you have a biome in your gut area, and let's use peppermint oil as an example, the peppermint essential oil. It takes, I think, in just one drop of peppermint essential oil, there's about 12 cups of peppermint tea. I think that's so it's the essential oils are extremely concentrated. And if you take those essential oils into your gut, you're going to be disrupting the biome in your gut area. So I don't recommend taking essential oils internally. Drink a cup of peppermint tea, rub it, somewhere on your body, on your wrists, on the bottom of your feet, your neck, wherever. But I do not recommend taking them internally, because you could cause a lot of damage to your gut lining if you don't know how to work with them. But if you're interested in learning how to work with them internally, find someone who is trained in that area. But I personally do not recommend taking essential oils internally. All right, so that is peppermint. The next one is eucalyptus, and if you've ever used the Vicks Vapor Rub, you've worked with eucalyptus essential oil, because that's the oil that's in there that helps to kind of open up your You know, when you rub it on your chest or on your child's chest and they take that deep breath, it's the eucalyptus essential oil that's causing that effect. Okay, but if you're not sure whether you're allergic to eucalyptus, be very careful and just test it on an area of your body that's not really going to show, because eucalyptus essential oil has been known to trigger allergies in people. So you have to be very careful. If you know that you're allergic to it, if somebody's having fun outside with their motorbike. If you've used Vicks in the past and you've had a reaction to it, chances are you're allergic to eucalyptus essential oil. So just be very careful. But eucalyptus is very anti-inflammatory. If you have seasonal allergies, the eucalyptus essential oil is a great one to be working with. And if you don't want to rub it on your skin, again, you can use a diffuser. You can also, one of the ways that you can also work with it is by making an inhaler like this. And the one that I shared with you earlier, this one that I put on the, on the tub for my son, this is perfect as well for making an inhaler. And they're really very easy to make. So if you know that you're prone to seasonal allergies, if it's something that you have all year round, because some people, it comes around in the springtime when all of the trees are budding and you can see that lovely pale green, lots of pollen. That's usually the only time that I'm bothered by anything, is maybe a few days in the springtime. But if you have it all year round, then you might want to create a blend that you can work with all year. All right, so frankincense. Oh, the other thing with eucalyptus, if you have like a scratchy throat, you could also mix a couple drops of the eucalyptus essential oil in with some lotion or coconut oil or olive oil, one of those, and just massage on your throat area, and it will help with the itchy throat. Frankincense is the other one, and I mentioned frankincense as being an ingredient in this blend. And frankincense is, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-everything, right? And you're probably familiar with it as one of the gifts that was given to baby Jesus in the Bible. If you blend frankincense with some eucalyptus, peppermint, and lavender, that's a great blend. You can kind of play around with the amounts of each. So that's frankincense, eucalyptus, peppermint, and actually that's the one I just showed you that I created here. So if you blend those together, just kind of play around with the ingredients and find a blend that works for you. Notice I don't always give you like exact recipes, because I do want you to actually try to come up with something that you love. I may share this blend with you, the exact recipe, and you might say, well, I don't really like how that smells. You might prefer to have more lavender in here. I have more peppermint. Or you might prefer to have more frankincense and more eucalyptus and less of the peppermint and the eucalyptus. So that's why I just gave you the names of the essential oils, and I encourage you to do your own research, and when you get the essential oils, and kind of play around and make your own recipe. Okay, because the more you play with the oils, the more you learn. You learn by doing your little bit of the research. I don't know everything about these oils. I don't know everything about anything really. I'm just here to share with you the things that I do know, and if it helps you, just let me know. And if you do make the blends, I'd love to know. Just share it in a comment below whenever you create these blends. So that is frankincense. That blend again is frankincense, eucalyptus, peppermint, and lavender. And then if you have like sinusitis, with inflammation in your sinuses, as well as bronchitis, that particular blend may also help with that. The next one, which a lot of people are familiar with, I'm sure, is tea tree essential oil. And you'll find it in shampoos, you'll find it in skincare products, it's all over the place. I like to use it for cleaning. So you can add lemon essential oil or sweet orange essential oil to the blend and use it as a cleaning solution. It's great when you're trying to clean mold, and if you have any kind of mold allergies, tea tree oil is one of the is a great essential oil for that. tea tree is antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, um, really, really good for swelling. So if you have like swelling in your sinuses here, the tea tree oil will also help with that. I don't necessarily, if I have any kind of swelling that develops here, what I do is instead of inhaling the tea tree, I sometimes take it and just put a couple drops on the cheek and just massage it in with some coconut oil or with some olive oil, and it penetrates and brings the swelling down there. Now, if you have a lot of puffiness, or if you're really sensitive to tea tree, I wouldn't recommend rubbing it here because then you might end up getting it in your eyes. So always be very careful when you're working around the eye area as well. Okay. Chamomile, and I've mentioned chamomile in teas, and I have also mentioned it as far as an essential oil is concerned. It's great if you have mold allergies, just like the tea tree oil. But chamomile is also really calming, both the tea as well as the essential oil. And if you have any kind of inflammation in here as well, chamomile is actually one of those essential oils that's safe to use without a carrier. And you can easily just massage onto here or wherever you have the inflammation. But again, even though it's safe to use without a carrier oil, I always recommend that you use a carrier oil because you might end up having a reaction. Okay, so always use a carrier. Rosemary, a lot of you recognize it as an herb in your kitchen, but there is the essential oil which smells amazing. A lot of people do not like the smell of rosemary essential oil, but I happen to. And it's one of those that I think I shared with you last week. I make a blend for my youngest son that has rosemary, basil, clary sage, and a few other things to help him focus as well as remember the things he's studying, because he's doing the virtual school. So this particular blend is diffused while he's in school, and the rosemary is in there to kind of help him to retain and be able to remember the stuff that he's learning. My baby, do oils go bad, and how do you know? That is a good question. Yes, oils can go bad. How do you know? When you smell the oil, there's usually a rancid smell. Now, the essential oils themselves, if you don't have the essential oil mixed with a carrier oil, then it shouldn't go bad that quickly. The essential oils should stay good for years. Now, if you make a blend, let me show you, for example. If you make a blend, just say this has, let's say it has olive oil in there. I would want to use this blend within a year. I mean, they do stay long even with the carrier oil, but they're not going to stay forever. So if you smell a particular oil and it smells really rancid, for example, if you smell lavender, you know it's supposed to be lavender in the jar, but when you smell it, it smells like sulfur instead, then chances are your oil has gone bad and I would get rid of it. But there's usually a distinct odor when your oil is going bad. Okay, but essential oils do last a very long time, very long time. That's a good question though. Okay, so rosemary. I mentioned it, we cook with it. I use it with my son and in his memory and focus blend, but it's really good for allergies, especially if you have allergies to pollen. Rosemary is a great oil to use for that because it's very anti-inflammatory. The next one, I would recommend being very careful with if you choose to work with this particular oil, be very careful. This is blue tansy. Blue tansy is really good for allergies and can be really helpful at nighttime if you're trying to sleep, because it could kind of keep those the allergies at bay to enable you to sleep. Now, blue tansy is also an oil that has been said to be a third eye opener. So if you're not looking for a spiritual experience, I would recommend being very, very careful when you're working with blue tansy and not overdo it, because yes, if you're not looking for spiritual experience, then just don't work with bhutans. But it is such a great oil for allergies that I always end up mentioning it anyway. All right, but I put that caveat there that it's can be a third eye opener if you overuse it. So you could also diffuse it. You could make an inhaler with it, but you could also put it into a diffuser with water and allow it to permeate the air. There's one more, Raven Sarah. And when I smell Raven Sarah, it reminds me just a little bit of almost a blend between tea tree oil and eucalyptus. And Raven Sarah is very, very good for unblocking your nasal passages. If you are having like a sneezing fit, inhaling some Raven Sarah will help to calm down that particular allergic reaction as well. Raven Sarah blended with frankincense, not that the guy with the body parts all put together. Raven Sarah plus frankincense is a very powerful allergy blend as well. So you might want to consider putting those two together. All right, so I mentioned this blend, which is lemon, lavender, and peppermint. That is the first, and they're equal parts in here, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. I also mentioned the allergy buster. That's what I'm calling it anyway, which is in here, and that one has 5 drops of lemon, 4 of rosemary, 4 of eucalyptus, 7 of Raven Sarah, 3 of peppermint, and 2 of lavender. Now you can always play around, and if you need more of peppermint, you can always add more peppermint and less of another, and you just drop them onto a cotton ball or just a piece of tissue, and you can always have it with you whenever you need to oh, it smells so good. All right, so those are 2 blends, and then of course this one that I use in the tub. Now let me show you how to make I did not bring my, I think I can do this. I did not bring my dropper. So in here, like I said, there's the it's like a little cotton rolled up. It goes inside, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this one since this has a dropper on it. See, this bottle has its own dropper. I was going to show you how to put in the lemon, lavender, and peppermint, but I didn't bring my dropper out here with me. So if you have actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'll just use the dropper from this bottle and clean it out afterwards. All right, so what I'm going to do is just take a couple drops from here, and all you do is, now the best thing to do here is to take the cotton ball or the cotton rolled in here and just drop it into like a glass container, and then put your essential oils on top of that. But this works as well. You just simply take it, let me make sure I'm dropping it on it, and just drop it onto the cotton that's on the inside, and it just gets, back. It was just drop about 10 drops in there. Put that back on. Let me get the cap and put on here before. And let me see if I can I'm just going to pop it out. You can see the essential oils on there. I'm trying to get it into the camera. All right, so I just dropped a bunch onto that. And then I just let that sit in there for a couple hours. Now to seal it, all you do is you just snap that down. And if you need to refill, you just pop it open again, right? But now I'm just going to snap it on. Okay, all right, sealed. And then you just open it up and you have an inhaler that you can just carry with you wherever you go. All right, very, very easy. Easy to make. Let me go ahead and close this bottle. But for the lavender peppermint, you can also use that in your tub. Just get a bath rag, drop it on the ground, add a few drops of this to it, and as you're showering, those essential oils will just float up and you just breathe it in. Or you can just take, oh, one of the things I did not mention is you don't necessarily have to make an inhaler like that. You can simply sniff directly from the bottle, right? So you get the effects that way as well. Just sniffing it direct bottle. Some people wear a personal diffuser. You can purchase those. Some of them are made out of unglazed clay. You just drop a few drops of the essential oil on it and it just hangs, and you get that, you know, the oils just kind of float up and you're able to enjoy it that way. Do you need to use dark bottles always? It's recommended. If you're going to have them out in the open, it's recommended that you use dark bottles like dark blue or the dark amber. I have a few of them in amber. With these ones, these 5 ml bottles, I don't think I've ever, well, no, that's not true. They do come in the dark color, but I happen to have them in the, the clear, but I keep them in an area where it's dark. So sunlight doesn't hit any of my oils. So if you're going to use these, you'd want to have a container. Excuse me. You're going to want to have a container where the sunlight is not, or have them in an area sunlight is not going to hit them, because sunlight will definitely damage. Very good question. I'm getting a lot of good questions. All right, so I think that is it for today as far as these are concerned. So if you do make them, I'd love to know. If you have any further questions, please feel free to pop them in even after the live. If you go back and you rewatch this video and some other questions come in, just feel free to pop them in and I'll respond to those as well. Don't forget to go back. I don't know if you missed the beginning, you're going to want to go back and rewatch this, because I talked about the blend that we made last week, the Show Your Skin Some Love, and how helpful that was to me this past week. Okay, so definitely go back and rewatch the video. I'm going to post the recipes below in the comments once this is finished. That way you can have access to those, the Allergy Buster specifically. The LLP, those are just, that one is just lemon, lavender, and peppermint, equal parts. And then the other essential oils, if I didn't use them in the blend, these are just to give you an idea of ones that you can use. Because like I said in the beginning, if you're allergic to lavender, then you want an alternative, right? And bless your heart if you're allergic to lavender. That is one of my favorite scents, but I do know people who are allergic to lavender. So if you are, I've given you a few alternatives that you can work with as well. I'm sorry, I think I swallowed the wrong spot. All right, so that was, ooh. You know when you breathe and swallow at the same time? Yes, went down the wrong spot. Thank you, very informative. You're so welcome. Now I'm going to recover from, oh, yeah, when you take a breath and you're swallowing at the same time, it tends to go down the wrong hole. Yeah. All right. So any questions, just post them even afterwards and I will get back to those. And if you have any particular concerns that you'd like to know more information on as far as essential oil is concerned, you can also let me know, and then I can talk about or create a blend and share that with you. Because I make my own perfumes, and they're all from essential oils. I can share some of those with you. There is one. The one I think I share with you next week is the pain blend. There's a pain blend that I created like 8 years ago when I was first diagnosed with lupus. And it's the one that I was working with every single day when I would wake up and my joints were so swollen that I couldn't even close my fists. I was working with that particular blend on a regular basis, and there are several of my friends who have sports injuries, and I would create a blend specifically for them using those essential oils, and it's very, very helpful for that. So I think that's what I'll talk about next week, unless you have another concern that you prefer. But I make my own perfumes using essential oils. And therapeutic things as well. And oh, this one. Remember last week I showed you how you could also use the show your skin some love to make bath salts. I didn't bring the bath salts out today, but you can do the same thing. If you have Epsom salt, just take a few drops of this, add it to your Epsom salt, and put it into the tub. The only thing I would recommend is when you put your essential oils in with Epsom salt, add in some coconut oil or some olive oil as a carrier, because when you have pure essential oils just floating on top of the water, if it contacts your skin, it could burn your skin. So if you're using this in bath salt, always add a carrier oil, and that will help to dilute the oils while you're taking your bath. The last thing you want to do is to be lying in a tub with pure essential oils floating around, and then you end up with a burn. Okay, that can happen. So if you're going to add it to your Epsom salts, maybe add in some pink salt, a couple tablespoons of jojoba oil or sesame seed oil or olive oil, and then add in your essential oil blend, whatever blend. I missed the beginning, but I learned so much. Whoa, perfumes. Sandalwood? Okay. There are a few perfumes that I've made that do have sandalwood in there. So I can bring out a few of those as well. All right. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I do hope that, it was informative, was helpful in some way. And then, so next week I'll introduce you to a couple perfumes and sandalwood. How does that sound? All right. So thanks again for being here with me, and do go back and watch the beginning if you missed the beginning of the video. This is going to be up for, the replay is going to be available. The video is not coming down, so it'll be there. But what I'll do is I'll post the recipes that I shared with you. I will post them in the comments, and that way you don't have to be constantly fast forward or rewinding trying to find out where in the video these recipes are. All right. Thank you again for spending this time with me, and I will see you again Tuesday for tea time. Wednesday, I will be here for Wisdom Wednesday. Not sure what I'm going to talk about then, but if there's a certain topic, don't forget to share. And then next Friday again for Oily Friday. If you can come up with a different name for today, I'm just calling it Oily Friday. I know it's not the prettiest name, but it works. But if you have ideas for a different name, please share that with me as well. And but I will see you three times next week. Tuesday might be a little bit later because I do have a doctor's appointment in the afternoon. So will most likely see you. All right. But have a wonderful weekend. I know you probably had so much to eat yesterday and even more today, but enjoy your weekend. And then for those kids going back to school, have a safe trip back to school Monday. Right?